You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Listen to the sound of my voice. You are about to listen to episode 73 of the Soul Forge podcast.
Welcome to the Soul Forge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Sean Vanderloo, as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soul Forge.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 73. It's Sean and Tracy back at you, recording about a half an hour after the last episode that you heard last week. Why are you laughing?
Because your voice when you did the introduction, and it wasn't just your voice, like you were doing the whole hand thing and your back was straight and it was like you were actually meditating.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
I did the whole thing?
It was kind of funny.
I didn't even mean to.
Yeah,
I guess I just got into the mode.
Right.
So if they can't tell, and by they, I mean our listeners, can't tell what we're talking about if they didn't read the title of the episode or catch on to the fact that you just said meditating.
Right.
That's our episode subject this week.
Meditation.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So, because we had a bit of a heavier topic last week.
Right. It was quite heavy.
It was quite heavy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've gotten any feedback because I haven't even edited the thing
Right.
or released it yet because it's 2 weeks ago as we're recording this.
Right.
And this is coming out now.
Yeah. Oh well.
So anyway, we are talking about meditation. Meditating and meditation. And what do we know about meditation?
I know that if you look up the
Definition?
yes of meditation, it tells you the act of meditating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I did that earlier before I came here.
You were doing research on meditation, and all it says is that meditation is the act of meditating. Wow.
I couldn't believe it. Do you want to know what the definition of meditating is?
I do want to know.
So I don't know who this is from, like where I got it from, because I just screenshotted it and I don't have that anymore. But there's a couple points here. To engage in the contemplation or reflection, to engage in mental exercise such as concentration on one's breathing or repetition of a mantra for the purpose of reaching a heightened level of spiritual awareness.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty much what I thought it was, but
Yeah.
That says it a lot better than I could have just
I
made up
know,
on the
right?
spot.
Yeah, it's worded a little better.
It is. Good for them. I'm glad you got that.
Yeah.
Because when I podcast, I don't do a heck of a lot of research or forethought.
And that's okay. That's kind of just how you do things. But
Yep.
I just thought it might be interesting to see.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Okay, so you have had some experience with meditation all your life, recently, or...
I would say in the last 6 years or so, I've been meditating on and off.
Okay, but not every day.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I'd always heard about it. It's always in pop culture.
Yes.
It's Richard Gere and the Dalai Lama
Right.
and all these people who do the meditation and trying to center their awareness and reach a higher spiritual. It's the guru on the mountain.
Right.
That you climb the mountain and you talk to the wise old hermit and say, hey,
Right.
what's the meaning to life? And the guy
Right.
says, Google it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I did all the work for 75 years up on this hill.
I'm not going to tell you.
My fingernails are 17 feet long. You can find your own answers.
What?
You ever see those memes or TV shows? Or,
Fingernails 17 feet long.
well, maybe not 17 feet long, but they got the long scraggly beards and they're like dirty and they all eat out of a bowl.
Oh, interesting. I'm sorry.
I might be mixing my metaphors.
Maybe. Well, I think maybe you're right, but I didn't ever think of a dirty old man.
Well, not a dirty old man like a pervert.
I know, I didn't
Just
mean pervert.
unwashed because he lives in a cave up on a hill somewhere. That's all.
Okay.
But I guess really what it stems down to, and when I think of meditation, I think of the Buddha, you know, and Buddhism and the spirituality and the Eightfold Path and all that good stuff. Because I tried meditation the first time maybe 2 years ago.
And how was that?
That was okay. The thing that I find is I feel ridiculous
Okay.
a little bit.
Yeah?
Because there's all kinds of apps that you can follow.
Yes.
Some of them they're all free for the first 8 to 12 sessions, and the guys are all talking like this. Listen to the sound of my voice.
Let your shoulders relax.
Very slow and calming.
Close your eyes. Feel the center. You know, all that stuff, whatever they say. And then at the end of the free sessions, if you'd like to continue subscribing,
Right.
$19.99 a month or whatever it is, I'm like, I think I'll just keep listening to the free ones.
Right.
So I did that for maybe 2 months. Would do it before bed.
Right.
Because they say do it for 20 minutes a day. Start maybe with 5. Do it in the morning. But I did it at night before bed. Maybe for 10 minutes as I listened to the guy. And I would cross my legs. I would close my eyes.
Yep.
And listen to the sound of his voice. And then they'd have the soft, gentle, flowing music in the background.
Right. Yeah.
And then just as soon as you're about to get relaxed, they start talking again and practically scare you. Because you're in that
Zone.
you're in the zone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the only problem is the feeling of ridiculousness.
Right. You can't get over that?
A little bit, because I believe in trying to get to a higher plane of spirituality, or
Right.
not even spirituality, just
Higher self.
a higher self. Yes.
Yeah.
Finding the deep core within yourself, being happy with who you are, and just, I guess, being relaxed. Right.
Yeah.
Letting any tension begin to melt away.
And so, what has your experience been?
Well, I can't remember exactly when I started meditating, but I do know that when I started doing it more regularly, I had taken a meditation kind of class.
A class.
It was just like a one evening
Introductory.
It was at Bodhi Tree. It's one of our local yoga studios. I don't even remember who taught it, but yeah, so they just kind of guided you into what meditation is and how different ways you can do it, different types of meditation and stuff like that. And so that was kind of I think I'd done it a little bit before that, but that was really where it kind of started. And I've done it on and off since then. I'll go through phases where I do it, regularly or daily even, and then I'll go through months where I don't do it at all.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I get it. Because a lot of the apps and there's lots of YouTube instructional videos or listing things that you can do, and some of them say do it in the morning as soon as you wake up. Wake up a little bit early and do it for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. If you want, do it in the morning and do it at night.
Right.
Because there's no specific set time.
Yeah.
You just have to be comfortable. And they all say to close your eyes and follow your breathing.
Yes.
The one app that I used that I can remember, I think there was a couple, but Headspace was one of them.
Yes, I have Headspace.
You have Headspace.
Yeah.
Say what?
I've paid for Headspace actually.
Did you pay the $500 lifetime subscription?
No, I think I paid $100 for a year. Is what it was.
Okay.
But that particular app, when you do pay, it gives you access to so many different meditations. I'm just going to see if I can open it here, just so I can tell the listeners some of the different ones. So there's ones to fall asleep. There's ones for self-esteem. There's ones for you get packs. So the ones I've downloaded are acceptance, self-esteem, depression, managing anxiety, basics. So that's basics of.
And this is all from Headspace?
This is all Headspace. So, and that's just the ones I've downloaded.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can, and then there's minis, so they're like 1 or 2 minutes, so you can see here. I know the listeners can't, but I'm showing Sean where this one's breathe, unwind, restore. There's also here. So I can just click my name, and that's not showing. So there's other ones, like I had mentioned, to fall asleep, to fall back asleep, or there's ones for athletes, and there's ones for students, and there's so many different things that you can access. I know it's expensive, but if you're going to use it, it's definitely worth it.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Because really $100 for a year of peaceful, easy feelings.
Right.
That's not
Right.
bad at all, really.
Yeah.
When it comes right down to it, that's
Yeah.
less than $10 a month.
Yeah,
So-
and the voice of those ones, it's a male voice, and he sounds kind of like Russell Brand, actually.
Okay.
So it's a pretty good voice. That's one thing that I've found a few apps or meditations on YouTube that I just couldn't listen to because I found the voice so annoying.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it
so
needs
if
to
someone
be-
was talking not just slow, but with like almost like an exaggeration to it that you could hear.
Oh,
I
like
just-
they're trying to be fancy or highfalutin
Right.
or spiritual
Yeah.
or whatever. It's
Right.
but it's fake.
Right.
Because you can tell.
It's not just calm talking. It's like I'm forcing myself to sound soft. So it just drove me crazy.
I guess so.
I had to turn it off. But yeah. So his voice is great.
Because we just, before recording, we did a 5-minute meditation exercise up in the living
did.
room upstairs.
Yeah.
And then we came down to record.
Yep.
Who was the guy that we listened to?
Jason Stevenson, and he is one of my favorites. So I have in my YouTube app a number of meditations from him saved. Meditations is also affirmations.
Which are...
So affirmations are usually positive things that he says, and then you repeat to yourself.
I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me.
Right, stuff like that.
Like guy from Saturday Night Live 20 years ago.
Exactly. But there's such a variation there as well, just like meditation. You
Okay.
can get them for positive thinking, to help you sleep. So there's a number of things too, but Jason Stevenson is my
Favorite?
go-to.
Your go-to?
Yeah, he's my
Okay.
favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. So how did you feel when we just did the meditation upstairs? Did you feel goofy?
No, not really goofy.
No?
Because maybe if I hadn't done it before, I
Okay.
would have.
Yeah.
But no, it was fine. I sat on your meditation pillow that you brought over.
Yeah.
And that was nice. It was comfortable.
It kind of gets your back a little straighter more naturally.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm known for my slouching.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, me too.
are you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm slouching right now.
Right, me too. But yeah, I was maybe 3 inches up off the ground.
Something like that,
My legs
yeah.
were crossed, my hands were on my knees, my eyes were closed. We were facing each other, and we were listening to the guy on the phone.
Yeah.
And it was nice,
Yeah, it was
soothing,
good.
calm music, and just listening to him. I find myself though when listening, kind of drifting.
That's
and,
normal.
And not listening to every word that he says,
Yeah.
and then I have to pull myself back.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
because your eyes are closed and you're just kind of in your own little zone. And one of the things that they always say when meditation comes into conversation is that you're supposed to clear your mind, but you can't.
No.
It's impossible.
I find it impossible. I haven't gotten to the point where I can just only completely focus on the meditation. But something that I do find helpful is when something does come into your mind, don't just try and push it away, because the more you try and force it away, the more it's going to stay there.
Right.
So just try and let it flow upward, as they say.
Yeah, everything's very much in flow.
Right.
Natural. Close your eyes, listen to the sound of my voice. And I guess after a while, you can meditate without listening to a person.
I have done that actually when I was in the hospital. As I had mentioned last week, I was in the hospital, but I did that. I wasn't allowed any devices or anything, so I had no choice but to just meditate and just focus on my breathing, which is something I do a lot, and try and think positive thoughts myself. So my mind wouldn't wander as much.
Oh, that's good. So is it easier when you're not listening to an app, or is it more difficult? Or it depends on the situation?
I find it more difficult, I think, because now I'm so used to meditating with listening to something. But one of my favorite meditations is not listening to Jason Stevenson, but looking at the flame of a candle.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so the point is just to focus on the flame of the candle, watch it move and flicker and everything else, and focus on nothing else but the flame of the candle. I love it.
And there's no, do you have music in the background?
If you want to, but I don't think I usually do.
Okay, and you're
Yeah.
you're just sitting there cross-legged on your pillow and watching the candle.
Usually I'll do it, sometimes actually do it in the bathtub because I usually have a candle if it's in the evening, or I've kind of sat on the floor with the candle on the coffee table in front of me, so it's at a good height, so I can see it properly. And anyway, but you can do it any way you want, I suppose. But that's my favorite meditation.
I'll have to try that. Because I've been meaning to get back into it, actually. Because, I don't know, it was a year and a half, 2 years ago where I did it for a couple months.
Yeah.
And then got out of it for some reason and never went back. And I don't know, does anybody meditate with you? Or
No.
No.
No, I think my husband meditated with me one time.
Yeah.
And he hasn't asked to do it again.
Oh,
So
no.
I don't think he hated it, but I think he was trying to be supportive and stuff. But yeah, it's by myself. I've tried to get my kids
Yeah.
to meditate.
Because it's not something that people talk about very much.
No, not really, I guess.
I don't really know anybody else who does it.
No?
I don't think. Like, it's a very rare conversation.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
I don't go up to people and just say, you know what, I did a meditation today.
It's a good pickup line. So, do you meditate? Would you like to?
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
Listen to the sound of my voice. Close your eyes and focus on your breathing.
Now you sound like a creep because you
Right?
just said it was a pickup line.
Exactly.
so-
That's why I did it that
yeah,
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't cool.
No.
Yes, hello. Let's talk about the Flopcast,
Every week, we give podcast listeners a chance to come and join us in Chicken Town.
where we talk about Saturday morning cartoons, comics and science fiction conventions, music and concert reports, 70s and 80s pop culture, and for no good reason, chickens.
Boy, we're weird.
Oh, we are ridiculous.
We're proud members of the ESO Network, and you can find us at flopcast.net.
My problem is that when I think about it or read about it or watch some of the YouTube stuff about it, it's almost like it's too precious. And like, are these guys being serious? You know, like all these CEOs meditate for 20 minutes a day before their meetings and all this stuff, and it's really focused them. And is that true? Is it really that way, or are they just saying stuff because they
Yeah.
want to sell their apps? You know,
Maybe.
I guess I have trust issues with people who are trying to sell me stuff.
It kind of sounds like it.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe, like it's not totally out of the realm of possibility that people would say that just to sell an app or
Right.
to get you to use it or whatever.
But they do have the 10 or 15 free episodes that you can listen to.
Yeah.
I think Headspace was like 12 maybe.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
It's a while ago. But there's all kinds.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And the fact that it's on YouTube as well. And
Yeah.
that's free no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And to be honest, I think I use YouTube more often than I use my Headspace.
Oh, and you paid for the Headspace.
Yeah.
But you use the YouTube. Okay.
I think largely because the ones on Headspace are short.
They are.
Which is nice.
Like 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
But sometimes when I really just need to relax or get myself to relax if I'm anxious or whatever, it takes longer than that. So that's why I go to the YouTube.
Okay.
The YouTube.
What are you, 74?
Yeah.
I'm going to the YouTubes, and then I got to post on the Twitters, you know. But no, doing that for 5 minutes upstairs, it didn't feel like 5 minutes. It
No?
went by fairly quick.
Good.
Yeah, it was nice and relaxing. I think if people are going to start meditating, it wouldn't be a bad idea to do it with someone, so that you have something to share with. You know,
Yeah.
you're there with each other, but
Sure.
you're quiet and you're not talking.
Yeah.
But you're experiencing the same thing, so you don't feel as ridiculous because you're doing something by yourself. That's what I would think.
Okay. I guess so.
But
I don't know.
but you can do it by yourself. Nothing wrong
course.
with that. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
You don't need somebody to help you
Yeah.
reach enlightenment.
No.
So,
No, of course not.
and I don't even know if reaching enlightenment is possible or not. But
We don't know that.
exactly,
No. We're not there.
we're definitely not there. No, but the only thing I can think of is meditation is not a bad thing. It can't hurt
It can't hurt. I agree.
because it lets you quiet down, focus on your thoughts and your breathing, and that's never a bad thing.
No.
So
Do you want to know something?
I do.
Every time I fall asleep, I focus on my breathing,
Okay.
and I often count my breaths,
Oh,
and that's how I fall asleep.
and that's a sort of meditation
Yeah, kind of.
because
Yeah.
because I guess meditation really is just focusing on yourself,
Yeah.
right? So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I also have meditation beads,
I don't know anything about those.
which are very much like a rosary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, except they're usually bigger beads, and which obviously creates a bigger necklace kind of thing.
You just rub them back and forth?
So the idea is kind of like the rosary, is that instead of saying a prayer on each bead, you say a mantra.
Oh,
Or and that's something else that if I really can't sleep, I'll use my meditation beads. So each circle or each bead, I'll say I will rest well and wake up feeling happy or something like that.
I should try that.
Yeah, and then move on to the next bead, and then I repeat it, and then
That-
I've never gotten to the end of it.
Because you fall asleep before
Right.
that? And
Yeah.
so you wear this thing all night?
I don't wear it.
Oh,
I just hold
it's
it
just
in
in
my
your
hand.
hand. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And
I've never shown you.
no,
Oh,
no.
I'll have to show you.
Do you have a singing bowl?
I do.
I do as well.
Yeah.
And I don't use it, but I have it, and I have used it because you ding the side and you put the stick around the thing, and it has this really deep meditative tone.
Yes.
And I guess the purpose is just to focus on the sound, right?
Not only that, but the singing bowl lets out vibrations,
Mm-hmm.
which when you're doing it, you can feel in your hand.
Yes.
But it's not just that; it's vibrations into the air, the universe, into your body, and that kind of thing. And different bowls have different sounds. Usually, it goes by the size of the bowl.
Because there are all kinds.
Right. I mean, they can be like as small as what I would call a snack bowl, and I've also stepped inside a bowl, and someone did.
No way. That
did
big.
it around
Wow.
me. So that was pretty cool. She just banged it, and that was crazy. I loved it, but
Okay. 'Cause
yeah. So I think that's the point. So you hold it, and you feel the vibration of it, and focus on the vibration of it, and you're supposed to kind of feel it through your whole body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because every once in a while I'll just take it out of the cupboard and I'll ding it and I'll hold it for 25, 30 seconds and just, I kind of like this.
So you can ding it, and you can also. I'm actually doing it.
Doing the motions.
Doing the motions right now, which the listeners can't see, but it's fine. Anyway, you can also go around it with the stick. Did you ever do that?
That's what I do.
Okay, so you ding it and then
I
go
ding it and
around.
then go around,
Okay.
so the vibration stays longer.
Right.
And
Okay.
I had a cat at the time,
Ah.
and I was like, "What's going on around
Yeah,
here?"
one of my dogs loves it, and will just come and stare at the bowl when I use it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because mine, I think it's like just the size of a soup bowl almost, maybe a little
Yeah.
bit bigger.
I think mine and yours are almost the same size.
I think so, and
Yeah.
they're made somewhere. It's not Tibet, but it's. I wish I could remember the name of, because they're called a specific thing, like a Tibetan singing bowl, but
okay.
it's not Tibet, but
Right.
it's somewhere like that.
Right. Did you get yours here in town?
I got it at Altered Reality
Nice.
on 3rd Avenue, formerly known as the Book Bin.
Right. That's where I got my meditation beats.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because not only are they used books, they've expanded into all kinds of other metaphysical things.
I love going in there.
They've got crystals and they've got the beads, and this is not an advertisement for Altered Reality, but they've
No.
got some cool stuff.
They really do.
I almost bought a big Buddha head because when I was growing up, my grandparents had a mini Buddha statue, and I always wanted it.
Yeah.
But it broke somewhere along the
Oh.
way, and I never got to have it. And
Yeah.
So they've got all kinds of that stuff, and
Yeah.
the crystals, and
Yeah. I have a bunch of crystals and all different things too.
yeah, it's stuff I'd like to get into a little bit more, but I haven't really. So
It helps when you. I have books on crystals, but I also have a coworker who's very knowledgeable. So a lot of my stones I got because she told me about them. She would know about my struggles and self-esteem issues and anxiety and stuff like that. So she would recommend different ones at different times for me. So
that's nice to have somebody who can
yeah,
guide you.
so that was fantastic to have that, because even reading the book, or I think the books that I have, it's nice, it tells you about it, but having somebody else giving you that and having experienced, anyway, it was great,
I guess so. Yeah, there's nothing like guidance to set you on your way.
for sure.
Yeah.
For
so,
sure.
So I think what we'll do is after the end credits of the podcast, will play an anti-meditation type thing.
Right. Well,
We've
it's still kind of a meditation.
It is, but it's hilarious.
It is.
And we've shared it on the Facebook page several times. There are some swears in it, I think.
Yes.
I think it's actually full of swears.
It's full of swears.
So don't listen to that with your kids.
No.
But it's hilarious.
Yes.
And you'll enjoy it. So
Yes.
that'll come after the end credits,
Yeah.
then that thing, and then the final send-off for the ESO network,
Mm-hmm.
which I've just inserted a promo for another podcast somewhere within the bulk of this thing because we didn't mention it.
Right.
But we are part of the ESO network.
Yes. ESO network?
ESO, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. ESO.
ESO, the podcast network, for all things geek. Although Soulforge is not a geeky podcast, but it's the sister show to my Rusted Robot podcast.
Right.
So we're all on the same network.
Of
So
course.
it's all good. It's all good in the
Makes
neighborhood.
sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, podcast fans, Spotify is making it easy for you to stream this podcast and many others like it on your mobile device, desktop app, and smart speaker. Open the app on your mobile device or desktop, click on the browser channel, then click on the podcast section. You'll be able to stay thoroughly entertained during your commute to work, your drive home, and your downtime, thanks to Spotify.
So that'll be the end of our meditation episode. Mm-hmm. Thanks for coming by the Soulforge headquarters.
Well, thank you for having me.
Stoking the flames of the fire of the forge and helping our listeners guide them through the adventures of living.
For sure.
So we'll talk to you listeners next week. But until then, remember, maybe you're stuck because you're pushing a door that says pull. This has been another episode of the Soulforge Podcast. Find us on Twitter at SoulforgePod or email the show via soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. Soulforge is a production of Sean Vanderloo and Friends. You can find Sean on Twitter and Instagram at Darth Vaderloo. Remember to visit soulforgepodcast.com for all of our social media links and share the show with everyone you know. Thanks for stopping by the Forge. We'll keep the fires lit until your next visit.
Sit or lie comfortably, quietly. Allow yourself to be here, fully, in this moment. With your eyes closed, begin to connect with your inner world of thought and feeling. Gradually, let the horseshit of the external world fade from your awareness. If you find your mind wandering to other thoughts, don't let it concern you. Just acknowledge that all that shit is fucking bullshit. You're here now, in this place, with your inner stillness. Those bitches can't get under your skin. They can't even. Take in a deep breath. Now breathe out. Just feel the fucking nonsense float away. Take full, deep breaths. Breathe in strength. Breathe out bullshit. Allow your breathing to discover its own natural, unhurried pace. If your thoughts drift to the three-ring shit show of your life, bring your attention back to your breathing. And with each breath, feel your body saying, "Fuck that." With passive acceptance, just allow distracting thoughts to float by. Fuck that. With each breath you take, your thoughts become lighter, and all the soul-eating cocksuckers just fall away into nothing. Take a moment to appreciate the silence. Those assholes can't piss all over a purity like this. You are weightless, timeless, without beginning or end. Completely relaxed and free of thought. And as you slowly open your eyes, greet the world and everything in it with a new, beautiful breath of fuck that.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.